we have an organ called kidney, which helps to remove the waste that can be dissolved in water out of our body. So this is the excretory. This diagram shows you the excretory system, which consists of kidneys, ureter, urinary bladder, and urethra. Okay, so this is an important diagram which you will have to draw in your books. So we had seen that our urine consists of 95% water, 2.5% urea, and 2.5% other waste. So urea is a chemical which is easily dissolvable in water, and it mixes with water and can be thrown out. Now the next thing is that we all have seen that when we sweat very badly in the summer season, the clothes that we wear, they have a patch or a mark on it. Now where how does that patch come on our clothes? That is because of the sweat. The sweat contains water and salts, and because of that salt, that white patch can be seen on your clothes. So Bojo has seen that sometimes in summer white patches are formed on our clothes, especially the clothes which are present in the on our underarms, in the areas like underarms. So these marks are left by the salt present in the sweat. So this white mark is because of the salt that is coming with the water that in the sweat. Now this how what is the function of sweat? What does the sweat do? Why is the sweat good or bad for our body? That is explained with an example of an earthen pot. Now we all know that the earthen pot keeps the water inside it cool. Now in here they have explained that why does the water inside, or how does the water inside the earthen pot remain cool? Now what happens is, this is because the water evaporates from the pores of the pot. So on the outer lining of the uh, the water that you fill it inside the pot, the water that touches the parts of the pot, from there the water gets evaporated from the small pores, from the small holes which are present in the pot. How that small holes come up? Because we have studied that between two sand particles there is a gap, and because of that gap, what happens? From that small holes, the water keeps on evaporating, that is attached to the pot. Okay, and because of that, what happens? The heat cannot go inside the pot, and as the heat cannot go inside the pot, the water that is inside the pot remains cool. So this is how the earthen pots keep the water cool. Now same thing happens with the sweat. Now when we sweat, our whole body, on our whole body we can feel the water, yes, and because of that water, the water gets absorbed. When the heat comes and touches on our skin, the water that is present on our body gets absorbed, and the body does not allow the heat to enter into our body. Okay, so the sweat that is on our body, it gets evaporated and the heat is not able to enter into our body. So what is the function of sweat? The sweat keeps our body cool. Okay, so this is the main function of the sweat. If you sweat, means your body remains cool from inside. Now, in this blue box, they have said that aquatic animals like fishes excrete waste, which is called as ammonia. Land animals like birds, lizards, and snake excrete a semi-solid waste, which is called as uric acid. And humans excrete the waste product called urea. So this is an important thing which you have to remember. Now, the other thing is that if a person's kidney gets failed, then he has to go through a process called dialysis. Now, what happens in dialysis is the dirty blood, that is the unfiltered blood, the blood which contains waste, is being sent out from the body to a machine which filters the blood, and then again that filtered pure blood is sent back to that person's body so that each and every part functions properly. So this is called as a dialysis process. This is done only when a person's kidney gets failed. Okay, students, so in the last video, we had seen that how the transportation of food, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and waste materials is done by the blood that is passed through the blood vessels in our body. We studied about the two different types of blood vessels, that is arteries and veins. Okay, and then we also saw that how blood is flowing from the lungs to the heart, then to each and every body part, and then from the body part it comes to the veins, and from the veins it then goes to the heart again, and from there it is pumped to the lungs. So these whole how the blood flows in our body, that uh, whole process is shown in this 11.3 figure. And then we studied what is heart, what is the main function of heart, and then we also studied what is a heartbeat. We studied what is pulse rate, what is pulse, what does the stethoscope do that a doctor uses. So these all topics we had completed in the last video. Now in this video we'll start with a new topic, that is excretion in animals. That is, excretion means throwing out the waste that is produced in our body out of our body. Now we had seen that carbon dioxide is removed as waste from the body through the lungs during exhalation, and we also saw that undigested food is removed in the when we studied the digestive system. At that time we saw that undigested food is removed from our body during digestion. Okay, now we'll find out that the other waste materials, how are they removed from our body. Now when our cells perform their function, certain waste products are released. These are toxic, means they are poisonous, and hence need to be removed from the body. So the process of removal of waste produced in the cells of the living organism is called excretion. So what is excretion? It is a process of removing of waste produced in the cells of the living organism, and the organs or the parts which of the body which are involved in this process, they form our excretory system. Okay, now let's study how does the excretory system in the humans work and what do they do. Now a mechanism to filter the blood is required. Okay, so some organ is required in our body which can purify the blood, because when the blood takes the carbon dioxide from each and every part of the body to the heart, and in that some waste materials are also produced by the cells which also go in the blood. Now that waste materials have to be removed. Now this process is done by the organ called kidney. Okay, so this is done by the blood capillaries, means the small thin tubes of blood vessels which are called capillaries, which are present in the organ called kidney. Now, when the blood reaches the two kidneys, it contains, the blood is having useful things also and harmful substances also. So, what does the blood vessels in the kidney do? They absorb the useful substances, and other harmful substances or waste materials are dissolved in the water and removed as urine from our body. Now, from the kidneys, when the kidney absorb the waste material and mix it with the water, the that which we call it as urine. The urine is the water which contains the waste material. So this urine goes into the urinary bladder through the ureter into the urinary bladder, and from there that urinary bladder is connected to a urethra which has a small opening at the end from which the urine is passed out of the body. Okay, now a adult human normally passes out 1 to 1.8 liter of urine in 24 hours, and the urine consists of 95% water, 2.5 urea, and 2.5 other waste products. So this is what the urine consists of, and this is the amount of water that a human passes out from its body in 24 hours. plants. Now, how we saw that how the substances and the waste materials are transported in animals. That is completed. Now, the next topic and the last topic here is transport of substances in plants. Now, as in our body, carbon dioxide, oxygen, food, and all are transported. Similarly, we know that plants also transport carbon dioxide, oxygen, and food. They also make food. So that also is to be transported to each and every part. Now, who does that? That in there, in plants. In our body, it is the blood vessels, which are the arteries and veins, which do the transportation. Now, let's see which are the vessels which help to transport food and oxygen and carbon dioxide in plants. Food, water, and everything. Okay. So in chapter 1, you learned that plants take water and minerals from the soil through the roots and transport it to the leaves. Now the leaves prepare the food for the plant using water, carbon dioxide during photosynthesis. Now in chapter 10, we also learned that food is a source of energy and every cell of an organism gets energy when the glucose that is present in the cell breaks down. Now the cell uses this energy to carry out all the important functions that are to be done in a animal body or in a plant. Therefore, food must be made available to each and every cell of an organism, whether it's animal body or a plant. Each and every cell should get the food. Now, so we have to transport the food also that is prepared by the leaves, and we also have to transport the water and nutrients which are absorbed by the roots. Now, who does this work? Now, plants absorb water and minerals by the roots, and the roots have root hair. Yes, we know that there's a main root, and in that there are many small roots. Now, that small root hairs that go deep into the soil. Okay, and when we uproot any plant, any small plant, when we uproot, we can see that small root hairs contain more soil is attached to that part rather than the main root, right? So these are the root hairs which go in between the soil particles and absorb all the nutrients and the water. Now these root hairs contain vessels called xylem vessels. Okay, you can see in this picture they have shown how they are connected. These xylem vessels are connected with each other. So now when many such vessels connect with each other, they form a whole xylem tube. Okay, now how these xylem vessels are made? Now these xylem vessels are made up of special cells, okay, forming the vascular tissue. Now when many cells combine together, they form a tissue. So these are the special cells. Why? Because they are special cells, because they transport water and nutrients from the soil to each and every part of the plant. So that is why they are made up of special cells, and when many special cells join together, they form a vascular tissue. And the vascular tissue for transportation of water and nutrients in the plant is called as the xylem. Okay, so the tissue, the vascular tissue which helps in the transportation of water and nutrients in the plant is called as the xylem vessels. Now the xylem forms a continuous network of channels that connects roots to leaves through the stem and branches and thus transport water. So the xylem is connected with each and every part of the plant, and thus it helps to transport water and nutrients to all the parts of the plant. Now the next thing is that as the water and nutrients are supplied by xylem, there is another vascular tissue called phloem which helps to transport the food prepared by the leaves to each and every part of the plant. So as in our body we have arteries and veins, in the plants they have xylem and phloem. Xylem is used to transport water and nutrients, and phloem is used to transport food that is prepared by the leaves. Now this activity 11.3 we had done last year, so it is the same, that helps in the transportation of water. said you in the last year class, we just have to cut a stem and put it in a colored water. You will see that after some time or after 2 days, you will see that the stem becomes that color. So by this experiment or by this activity, we can say that stem helps in the transportation of water. Okay, so this is the xylem which helps in the transportation, xylem vessels which are present in the stem, which helps to pass the water to the other parts of the plant. Now the last topic in this is transpiration. Okay. Now transpiration, we have already learned it in earlier classes. Transpiration means giving out the water that is present in the plants in the form of water vapor into the environment is called transpiration. Now how the transpiration is done? So transpiration is release a lot of water by the process. So plants release a large amount of water by the process of transpiration. Now we know that we studied now about that plants absorb minerals, nutrients and water from the soil. But all the water that is absorbed by the plant or by the root is not utilized by the plant. Some of them is extra, there is more amount of water present. So what happens? The water evaporates through the stomata present on the surface of the leaves by the process of transpiration. So the extra water which is left out after the plant has used the water that is required by it to do all the functions, that extra water then goes to the stomata, and from the stomata it evaporates and goes into the atmosphere. Now the evaporation of water from the leaves generates a suction pull. So when the leaves, when the water gets evaporated from the leaves, what happened? It's like working like a straw. When we put a straw in a juice and we suck that, then that what happens through that straw, that juice goes into our mouth. So what happens when the leaves do the transpiration process? They suck. They try to suck the water from the roots or from the soil. So what happens from the roots of the soil? Whatever extra water is there, that starts to move up and goes up to the leaf, and then from the stomata of the leaf the water gets evaporated out in the form of water vapor. So this way the leaves can suck so much of water to a greater heights. Means if it is very tall tree also, the leaves that are present on the top of the leaf also can suck the water to that height, and then the extra water can be removed from the plant through the transpiration process. So the transpiration also cools the plant. Okay. So as the sweat in our body helps to keep our body cool, similarly the transpiration process that occur in the plants helps to keep the plant cool. Okay. So hope you have understood the whole process of transportation of substances both in animals and plants. So what all things we transport, we studied in the transportation of substances in plants and animals. In animals, the transportation of food, water, then oxygen, carbon dioxide, waste material, these all things how they are transported, and who all are included, which all organs are included in this process that we studied. Then we saw the transportation process in plants. In that we studied how, which are the two vessels, that is the xylem and the phloem vessels, which helps in the transportation of water and nutrients and food. So xylem helps to transport water and nutrients, and phloem helps to transport the food that is prepared by the leaves. And in the human beings or in the animals, it is the arteries and veins which help in the transportation of oxygen, food, and waste materials in our body. So, hope you all are clear with this chapter. We complete our chapter here.